Hello everyone. Thank you for stopping by. My name is Marjorie and welcome to my channel. Today I am participating in a monthly challenge hosted by Tiff from Broke Girl Aesthetic. It's the Funtime Friday where you can make anything that you like and want to share. So please go down to my description box below for the playlist so you can check out all the other creators. So I got this sign from a thrift store. It was $3. And I am just going to take a couple of these cable tie mounts, peel the little sticker off, not the sticker, but the film that covers the sticker portion, and add a little bit of super glue. I use the Gorilla super glue. Any kind will work. And then once I place it on, I take my hot glue gun and just go around each of those cable mounts to give it a little bit of more security. I do use the Gorilla Glue hot glue sticks, and they are the best thing around. So I will, after it cools off, put a couple of Chanel stems in those so I can actually hang the sign. So here I've got my wreath, and I'm making my own work wreath. I do this because it's more affordable. And I just take the two inner circles and place a Chanel stem in the middle. And my arrows are pointing to these crossbars. So in between the crossbars are a section. And each section gets 3 Chanel stems. 2 that go on the bottom 2 rails that you just saw. There's a total of 6 sections in this one, and so you'll need 18 Chanel stems. I have a couple of leftover deco mesh, 21-inch mesh, where I had used these for something else last year, and I decided I was going to make a wreath out of both of them. If you know me, and the majority, if you watch my channel, the majority of the time I like to use the 21-inch deco mesh for a base. And so what I'm doing here is I'm just adding this to a crossbar with a zip tie. And I do this because it gives it a whole lot more security. And then, as you know me, I'm just cutting the extra little piece off to make it a nice clean cut, which you don't have to do. So what I do is I take that little zip tie, and I'm going to use the flat side down of my cutters, my wire cutters, and snip that off. When you do it with the head side, the flat side down on the head of the zip tie, then it gives you a nice, more flush cut, and you don't have the chance of hurting yourself. I have in the past before scraped myself on it, and it's not fun. So I took that zip tie and I measured out 10 inches and I placed it right in the very first Chanel stem on the right side. Then I just fluff it out. Then from that Chanel stem, I measure out another 10 inches and go straight to the next Chanel stem that's available. Now I'll do that all around the bottom Chanel stems, and then I like to fluff mine out as I go along because I like to see the fullness. And then once I've got the loops in each or the little poofs in each of the 8 zip ties, 8 Chanel stems that are on the outer 2 rings, then I will do the same as I did when I started, and I will zip tie the deco mesh to the crossbar. I go to the same crossbar that I did when I started, and I do the same method. And then I will just cut the excess mesh off. And you'll see here, I'll show you just a minute, there is still a little bit left, but it's not really a lot to do anything with, at least for me. It's not. So I just go ahead and I'll just throw that away. I don't like to leave a whole bunch of lingering stuff lying around, because with as many craft supplies as I already have, it's already a mess. So then what I'm doing is I'm taking another 21 inch that I used before, and I'm going to do the exact same thing, but I'm going to start in a completely different crossbar. That way I don't have to worry about doubling up on these zip ties on the crossbars. It's just a lot easier. So again, I do the same thing where I use my zip tie and I zip tie the deco mesh to the crossbar. Now I like to use the zip tie. If you watch any other wreath makers, some of them just attach it to that first chenille stem. And I like the security that I get from the zip tie. I'm not having to worry about the end of my deco mesh coming out, so it's just a security thing for me. You don't have to do that. You can start and end your deco mesh any way you would like. So then I have this 21 inch. This is kind of like a pastel rainbow colors, kind of. It's pink and light blue, but the one thing about these deco mesh, when it's in a roll like this and it's pretty see-through and light colored, it doesn't make a big of a statement when you start cutting them into pieces as it looks like on the roll. So that's just a suggestion, and I'm sorry, I should have let you see a picture of the deco mesh when before I had actually started cutting it up. I was just trying to be a little proactive and get a little ahead of the game, but it's still very pretty, and you'll see here in just a bit how nice and full that each of the section gets with just the deco mesh that I'll put in here. So I do like full wreaths. I always do a 10-inch poof, and I typically like to do ruffles. I've been really thinking about doing a wreath with the curls because I don't really do those. So I either do the ruffle or the cruffle method, and but I think I'll try to do one with the curls after a while. So I have 3 sets of these ribbons because I'm actually going to make 3 bows. Each of the ribbon are cut at 30 inches. Oh my goodness, guys, I'm sorry for yawning. It's cut at 30 inches, folded in half, and as you see, I've already dovetailed them. And what I'm doing here is I'm just measuring out 6 inches, and then I'm pinching it right at the 6-inch mark because I want 6-inch loops. So I do that with all of them, and I do alternate the bows. There's really no rhyme or reason of the pattern in which I'm doing it. I just like to spread out the colors and stuff. So once I've gathered them all, I will take a chenille stem, and I'm going to attach the chenille stem right where I was holding it at the 6-inch mark. And you got to make sure it's pretty tight. Now I'm splitting the ribbon tails in half so I can fold each end of the chenille stem down so I can actually twist it here. I'll do a really good tight twist here, and this will allow me to attach it to the wreath form. I mean, I guess you don't really have to, but that's just one of the things that I do. And then you just take all the tails and you make sure that the pretty side is up. And then you kind of just spread them out, fluff them a little bit, and then as you'll see that I like to make little curves on my ribbon tails. just like that. That way it helps to make the bow a lot fuller. And then I just take my loops and I spread them apart, trying to make sure that my loops are not sitting the same loops next to each other, that they just have they're separated a little bit. And I continue to fluff out and pull out the tails on the other side, and I do this until I like how it looks and as full as it gets. So sometimes it may take me a little while to fluff out a bow, and other times it's like bam, done right in a minute. But sometimes it just really depends. Today was a pretty good day though. So you really do want to make sure when you're fluffing out that your loops are actually big and poofy. And sometimes you got to make sure and double check to make sure that your loops are actually pulled out, and because I've mistaken them for my tails before. But see how pretty this is? I went ahead and put all the tails that I cut at 14 inches. I went ahead and put the chenille stems on the back like I said I would, so I can attach this sign. And this sign is just so pretty. I just really love this sign. It was so pretty, and I actually did not buy the ribbon, and when I bought the ribbon I just saw them and I liked them, and I lucked out. So yeah, I went ahead and connect the sign to each side of the inner rings. Oh, and here's what I did with the little chenille stems that were left over. I just took a little hot glue stick and rolled them under to make these little curly cues. I will on these take these and cut these off because these are the areas that my bows are going to go, and I don't really need those, so I just cut them off fairly short, and then I push them down into the deco mesh. That way nobody gets hurt with them. And so there's 3 of them that I actually cut off, and then there's one extra set of chenille stems that I saved my last set of ribbons so I could show you how I did them. I just take my 2 and layer them, and I fold them in half, find the center point, and then I walk my fingers up in the middle, go ahead and give them a nice curve to it, fold them into a V shape, and then that's how I attach it to my chenille stem, just right on top. And to give it a couple of good twists, and then here's how I made those little curly cues again. You can do whatever you want. I don't always do the curly cues, but I just thought I would with this one. I just really love that ribbon. So yeah, so now I'm just trying to make sure everything is right. And so I take my first bow and I will attach it to the top. And then, sorry, I finally realized I was not at a good angle. And I actually put it here originally, but by the time I get my bottom loop on, I do go back and move this over to that last set of ribbon tails that I just put in. I move it a little bit closer over there because I didn't have as much room to put my middle bow. So when I'm doing 3 bows like this, what I like to do is put the bow on the top, and then I'll put the bow directly under that at the bottom, and then I will put the one in between on last. Now this was a pretty long sign, but it was trying to get hidden in between the bows, but we got it to peek out a little bit. And I just really love how this pretty spring wreath came together. So I want to thank you guys again for stopping by. Please remember to go to the description box and check out all the other players. And please like, subscribe, and comment below to help me grow. Thank you, and have a blessed day.